Hi, we are Newsroom AI, and I'm Kalyan, co-founder and CEO at Newsroom AI. As you already know, journalists go through many tasks on a day-to-day basis. Sorry, 1 minute. There is this thing. Okay, yeah. The journalists go through so many tasks on a day-to-day basis. They do a research on the article that they want to generate. They do the fact checking. They do transcription of their audio video recordings. They do the first draft, send it to editors for proofreading, social media posts, and a bunch of many other activities before the final publication happens. So these tasks are endless, and that endless coordination with cross-functional teams delay publications. So what if all of this could be done in just a few minutes, that the journalist conducts their interviews and research and posts their research, they upload their research material, their notes, their audio video recordings, and they get an article generated in their own writing styles with SEO implementation, fact checks, and a bunch of other activities we just discussed. Of course, this is editable before it's finally published. Introducing you to Newsroom AI. It's the journalist's best friend. It's a co-piloting platform that accelerates news article generation in the journalist's own writing style and biases. These are some of the features that we have on a platform, including transcription, article generation, image generation, summary, social media post generation, a bunch of others. I'll quickly walk you through the demo now. When are you able to see the demo? No. Okay, let me share again. Yeah, are you able to see the demo?
Yep, we've got it.
Yeah, when you log on to the platform, this is the dashboard that you would look at. You can go into the archives and get insights from your own archives by asking any natural language question, and you'll get answers in natural language. And if you already have an article and want to do different versioning, like long format for baby boomers, short format content for millennials, and TikTok style for Gen Zs, you could do it from here. Or if you don't have any content and want to do it from scratch, you can upload your audio video recordings, your notes, and other research material here, and tell us about what kind of article you want to generate, in what tone and what length of the article. And you can go into the editor, // you will see all the action items that you would be able to perform. You can generate an outline, a much more elaborate outline, but this is a prototype. You can edit it and then do a style, and then generate an article right from here with a click, with header, caption, and the entire article generated here. This can later be converted into a newsletter or summary, or you can also turn it into a social media post, or even convert into a different version, let's say a shorter version and French. You'd be able to do that right here within a click. And you can also do fact checking right here, or turn it into a different tone. When you click on fact checking, you get a bunch of links, both from the archives, from external links, so that the journalists can go to these links and figure out which ones are trusted and which one they can critically think using these links. Okay, let me get back to the deck. Yeah. So why use Newsroom AI? So our models are exclusively trained on news media archives of our clients, not only for relevant information, relevant output, but more importantly for non-deceptive or non-hallucinating output, which is very easy in the usual generic generative AI models. These are built for the workflow of the journalist, which includes fact checking, content management system integration, and a bunch of others. It is more importantly, the users don't really have to know the best prompts to get best outputs. They can, these are all optimized on a platform already. So what happens is, how this works is the journalist uploads their recordings and research material onto the front end of the dashboard that they have, and that gets into our customized generative AI models. And this is where all the magic happens. These models are, as I said, trained on the archives, and these archives are trained to identify the writing styles of the users or the editors in broadly three categories: lexical features, which would be something like an average number of words used in a sentence, readability features to understand whether they're writing it for a seventh grader or an eighth grader or an adult, vocabulary features to see how complex vocabulary they're writing, and many other metrics, nearly 20 metrics. And these features, once they are understood, they are implemented on the user research to get the end output, which is of course later editable by the journalist and before publication. So we have recently released our private beta, and over 40 organizations have registered for it. And in a month from now, we would be doing our open beta release. And in 3 months from now, we will be doing our enterprise tool release. Some of our users say that they save over 2 hours in their workday, and that's very promising for us. But this is our team. We all met at Cornell, and I have Greg and Pallavi right here with me. You'll see them in a minute. And we have been working on this since the past few months. In the past, we have experience in management consulting, product management, and building neural architectures and AI products. And we have been very excited about building this for the world. We have a dream today of bringing equity for enabling equitable access to information to all people, and hope you can be a part of our dream. If you're an editor out there wanting to try out our product, please sign up for a private beta here by scanning the QR code, or if you have any questions, please write to us straight.
All right, thank you, Kalyan and the Newsroom AI team. So let's open it up for questions.
Well, that was terrifying. I don't really mean that. It looks like an exciting project. I'm curious, like I think a lot of people are, whenever it comes to these models, what the sources are, and you're training it exclusively on news media. There have been some responses in the comments that you'll use the client's database as well. You'll use potentially trusted sources identified from them. But is there like a base layer that everyone will have? And what are the characteristics of that?
So we right now starting with our enterprise tools. So we deploy the tools as a local instance into our client's environment, and they would be trained on their own archives, and the access to their archives would not be given to anyone else. So those models are entirely built only for that particular organization. And when I was talking about the archives where they can they can ask natural language questions and get answers in natural language, the answers that they get are exclusively only on those trusted sources and archives that the clients have asked us to train it on. And if there would be a random question asked from the internet, it would not bring that. That is something that we have put guardrails onto the information so that they do not give hallucinating answers.
I'm kind of curious if you've tested the sort of adaptability of it yet to smaller local newsrooms, because obviously the training materials can be so nationally or globally oriented, and I'm curious how it gets tailored down at that level.
Yeah. In fact, for training these models, we don't really require more than 10 articles, 10 to 20 articles that in the past could actually grasp a good sense of what kind of writing styles they have and kind of biases that they have in writing certain type of articles. So even individual independent writers could actually adopt these tools, not just large organizations.
Cool. Thank you.
I feel like we're playing chicken, Jessica. I could go. Yeah, thank you all so much for presenting this. I think this is very interesting. And like Ned said, both interesting and terrifying all at the same time. But I think this is a natural iteration of where kind of the industry is going. I'm wondering just kind of a bit more about kind of the trusted sources as well, and how that evolves. So obviously, you're getting inputs from the kind of primary source material from the reporter, the interview recordings, those things. And then you also have kind of the fact checking component from other verified sources. And so I'm just interested in kind of how do we craft that verified source list, and also how expansive it is from an equitable frame. Obviously, my focus is on Black media, but there are a lot of media that are often excluded from being a part of that list. And also for some of those niche publications, it may be hard to fact check using those sources because the stories are being broken for the first time. So I'm just interested in how those use cases show up in y'all's work.
Definitely. Thanks very much. That's very interesting question, actually. Unlike what you have seen with fact check AI2, we don't do the fact checking ourselves, but we enable fact checking. Unfortunately, in today's world, as we all know, a fact for me is not a fact for someone else, and that shouldn't have been the case. And now when the editors and journalists are writing their articles, they want to interpret these facts, and you readers are looking for those interpretations. So what we do is, if they want to, once the output is produced, they can select any part of the text as I've shown in the demo, and we would show them sources like, hey, if you want to fact check this part, these are all the sources that you would want to go for. They're contradicting sources. You might want to think critically and then put up there what you think is the best version of it is. So we enable them to do their work and not do their work by ourselves. And that's where I think the co-piloting part of the entire tool, in every part of it, whether it's generating an outline or fact checking or everything, we are putting human in the loop, and it shouldn't be very scary at the end of it for people that their work is getting enhanced and accelerated and not replaced.
Thank you.
Actually, my question was what's in the chat right now from Gary Rogers about, with these generative models. I mean, you've shared the human in the loop solution, but can you speak to that, the rate of accuracy, just to kind of underscore the need for human in the loop, of course, and then, does it hallucinate? Have you gotten feedback from your newsrooms on that? And does the model improve over time?
Sure. I think the biggest concern that people have is hallucination, specifically in this industry. And that's something that we have tackled right from the beginning. We have created guardrails so that the output that is being created only comes from their archives, trusted sources, and the research material that they upload onto the platform, and no other information outside of it. And as a secondary part of human having a check on this, we would actually give sources of every output, or every sentence that is being produced, saying that, hey, to produce this sentence, these were the sources used. So they can go back and check, how is this output coming, from where is it coming? So at any point in time, there wouldn't be any hallucination happening. And even if there is any misinterpretation, they could always go back to those sources and see they want to interpret it in a different way.
I think the reason the first impression is that it's a little terrifying is because, as you showed on screen, it's a finished article, right? Like, it looks like something that's a passable finished article. It's the same reason that ChatGPT is terrifying to high school teachers everywhere. It's like, I'm kind of just curious, your intent is that humans will still be involved in the process. Not only do they have to upload the materials, they should always be reviewing it, they should always be fact checking it, but you can see the potential for abuse here. And I'm kind of curious what you're thinking about in terms of just that moral stickiness, and what you might require from your partners, if anything, to kind of ensure usage in line with how you see it?
Definitely. So I think we need to recognize that, and you all know it already, that journalists put in a lot of effort in researching for bringing an article. They enjoy doing that. And once that research is done, after that is when our tool comes into place. And from here on, I know the prototype shows everything auto-generated, but actually it is integrated into CMS content management systems where they can individually produce a headline, they can produce a caption, they can produce individual paragraphs in the structure that they would want to. Here, for the sake of the demo, it was a quick one that I've shown. So at the end of it, they have the ability to generate different parts of the input and output to every article that they're generating, and they would be able to edit it before it is published. I don't really see that they can be completely be taken away from the loop, and especially when the readers are concerned. Also, if someone writes this is auto-generated by machine, I do the readers are at this point in time not ready to trust those sources. But if you say this is generated by AI but curated by a human, we have seen that the readers are more receptive for it, saying that, oh, okay, this was finally curated by some human, I would want to read it.